Welcome to Witches of Three.
Speak free, speak free. Talking about witches. Talking about. Blessed new moon, everybody. I am Kyla from Witches of Three, Speak Free. We are doing something a little bit different for you today. I normally do astrology posts on my personal Facebook. Soon I'm going to start a professional page. Well, I say soon. Hopefully soon. With all this Aries energy, hopefully soon. But I normally do post on my personal page at least a few times a week, pretty regularly. And I definitely post regarding the new moon and the full moon. And today, with all this new beginnings energy, we wanted to try, maybe instead of me typing it up, recording my little astrology talk and see how you guys like that. So if you do like this, please let us know with the comment, like, or share. Because if you like it, we want to keep doing it for you. So, and then also, Witches of Three Speak Free, we have a Patreon as well. So we have our show and we have the Patreon and we do a lot of unlocks and such. So this new moon, I am doing an astrological unlock where I give them the astrology for the month of April, talk about certain rituals that could be helpful, certain goddesses. I also pull cards and I also give more personalized horoscopes. So if you really like what you see here and want more, please subscribe to our Patreon, Witches of Three Speak Free. Okie dokie. So let's just get into it. Let's take a deep breath. I have tried to film this so many times. There's a lot of energy and there's a lot of polarizing energy. So if you're feeling all over the place, if you have a headache, you're not alone. So let's break into it, shall we? So again, Happy New Year. The Aries new moon is the first new moon of the astrological new year, of the zodiac wheel. Aries is the beginning. Aries is fire. It's the fire, it's the fire that makes towards new life. You want to think of the weeds that are sprouting up at spring, the dandelions, the violets. Those things have so much power that they are bursting up and reaching for the sun. The sun has returned, right? And we're all coming back for the light. And the sun is purifying us because we've been cold and dead for a while. So Aries is all about pushing forward, the ram, going forwards. But again, we have a lot of polarizing energy right now. Some aspects, so you can feel all over the place. So I'm calling this, out with the old, in with the new, actually really death of the old and kind of baptism by fire, a purification of fire. I want you to think of yourself as the phoenix. The fire is not going to kill you. It's here to purify and help you. But it can burn, right? The fire always burns. So, okay, let me break down the astrology. We have a huge stellium in Aries right now. So a stellium is when you have multiple planets in a zodiac sign, 3 or more, depending upon which astrologer you ask. But it is a heavy amount of energy all in one zodiac sign. So we have the sun in Aries, we have the moon, and that's how the new moon works. We have the sun and the new moon is in the same sign, and then the full moon is in the complete opposite sign on the wheel. And that's why full moons tend to have the people think that they make you crazy, but it's really because you're going all along the wheel and everything's getting illuminated. So right now we are in the dark. It's more reflective. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but we also have Venus, love and comfort, our stability, our all that, and Mercury, our intellect and communication as well. If I could talk. Mercury's in Aries, and that is if you have been having a hard time talking too fast, or your mind's working too fast, not being able to ground, or maybe you've said some things that you shouldn't have said. we have all these different energies in Aries: Sun, ego, self; Moon, emotions; Venus, love and comfort; and Mercury, intellect and communication. So those are all in Aries. That means that they are all like kind of pushing forward. They all want something new, something innovative, creative, passion. they are pers- Venus and Mercury are personal planets. So when Jupiter and Saturn, those are more like societal, outside. We're having something change within us. There is a big shift going on. Aries wants us to start new, wants us to breath of fresh air, breath of life, be reborn again. Um, but he definitely wants to make sure we're purified this time because they aren't alone in Aries. They also have asteroid Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. Um, so in Chiron represents in your chart where your eternal wound is, like something that you're working through, and it's not something that is healed. It is something that you continually have to work through yourself. But Chiron in your chart can also indicate how you can be healed as well. Uh, there's always both sides to astrology. But anyway, Chiron in Aries is basically the wounds of the self. So again, Aries is a fire sign. It's also the sign of self. They rule the head. They can very much be in their head. So Chiron is here just to bring. He's up there with all the planets in Aries, just trying to remind us that we have some pains that we need to work on, and to be the leader that Aries wants us to be, we've got to work through these things. You can't go forward, right, without pulling back on the arrow. So okay, so this is the first polarizing energy. Everything going forward, but we're just kind of getting this poke of like past wounds and trauma. Like, don't forget this. And that can be very frustrating and kind of hard to work through. But Aries is all about pushing through. Again, I want you to keep just remembering like weeds and dandelions. If you've seen that meme with the dandelion through the concrete, stuff like that. That's the energy that we're working with. That's so hard at pushing us forward, but then now we're also having this. It's a lot. And I'm not even done. So, excuse me as I look at my notes. But yeah, Aries is pushing us forward. I want you to think of the phoenix purifying. This is like when we rise. So, new moon is a good time to set intentions. Like I said before, the moon lunar cycle like travels us through the zodiac signs. But in the new moon, when we're in that same sign as the sun, we're supposed to be reflective. The moon is dark, it's not illuminated. Um, this is when we're supposed to really figure out what we want and set intentions. You're not actually supposed to make like physical or practical like movements towards your intentions until what we call the Diana's bow, like when it looks like a bow and arrow in the skies, or the crescent. When you can see the moon again, when you can see it, is when we start making progress. So right now, this is a typical rule for the new moon. Just kind of set intentions. But with this Aries new moon, you definitely want to do that. Um, and it's going to be hard because you're going to be feeling just like go forward. But we also have Mars square Neptune right now. So, like I said, Aries rules the head. This aspect can make you feel trapped by your head. It's known to cause like delusions and paranoia. This is when, people talk a lot of shit and gossip, say things that aren't true. And it's not just outwardly to other people. It's how you can talk to yourself as well, or, thinking that you're not good enough. It can manifest in a lot of ways, but most of the time it's a little uncomfortable. Um, so with this aspect, it might not be exactly clear like how to go forward. Um, and that's going to be hard because you're going to be pushed forward. So the best thing to do tonight is just to set your intentions and to be excited and to feel those feelings. But we want to wait a little bit before we decide how to actually like practically, or I mean, you could think about it, but just don't make any like practical movements tonight because it just might not be that clear. Neptune, whenever Neptune's around, there's always a chance for like disillusions. Um, you really want to like tonight. You want to really let the fire build the fire, and just enjoy it. Um, don't get burned by it. Also, this evening we have a Venus and Pluto square. Gonna say one of my favorite words again, intense. Intense. So Aries is a sign of self, and we are having these aspects that really kind of can make things intense or make you doubt or make you think about your relationships with others. So with this new moon, for advice, you are supposed to choose yourself first, but you don't want to get trapped in your head. You don't want to get too selfish. And with your relationships with this Venus and Pluto, want you want to be an intense partnership. You don't want to get lost on it one sided because it can manifest like that. Venus and Pluto squared can bring up hidden insecurities. Um, and it can, if you, it can either bring out a more intensity in your relationship, or again, if it's one sided and you're not really opening yourself up to it, or being honest about maybe your insecurities, it can go off on the and manifest in like jealousy or like obsessions. Um, and you could be manipulative, and you don't want to do that. I mean, maybe you do, but I'm telling you to not do that. It's going to be really intense, but they're rising and it's forcing us to deal. Again, I feel like this new moon, because this new moon, like I said, is intense. Um, I'm sorry, I'm going to say that word all the time. I'm just there's a lot going on. But this new moon is in the 22nd degree, and in lots of different veins of astrology, they will view that degree in different ways. Some of it, you've probably heard of it as the kill or be killed aspect. But generally, no matter what you believe in, you believe that this degree is important to where what intentions you set tonight are going to have a lasting impact on your future. Um, and so you want to feel all the complexities of love. You want to feel all the feelings. Um, Use your power to change how you give and receive love. But again, you're just going to have to find some sort of balance because there's a lot of polarizing energies of going forward, caring for yourself, but also figuring out what's going on with your relationship. You might, and hidden insecurities and wounds popping up. It's very much what I've been trying to say is this new moon is definitely preparing us individually for radical change, radical transformation. That's I mean that's all you can say with all this polarizing feelings. Um, they want us to be propelled forward. They want us to have this spark of new ideas and creativity. But really double check: have we been working on our shit? How are we dealing with our wounds? Um, the people around us, again, that was a big theme, with the retrogrades in us. How is that going on? Are we choosing ourselves so we can love others properly? um, there's a lot of with this with this new moon, get excited. Definitely build that fire. You're probably going to have lots of ideas. Definitely write them down. I'm going to suggest, and the rest in the Patreon video, some fire activities. And like I said, pull cards and do personalized horoscopes. But just really consider like tonight an opportunity for rebirth. Um, yeah, and rise like that phoenix, and just know that there's going to be a lot of complex energies out there. But it's all to push you forward in the way to be pushed forward, because change is coming, and it's going to come on a bigger scale, but it's going to start all within us, and that definitely starts with this powerful as shit new moon. Anyway, that is all I have to say about that. I think I told you all the advice I can give you. Um, Again, please let us know if you liked the astrology information video. If you want more, like I said, I'm going to be continuing this video on Patreon. I'm going to do a card pull. and talk about, again, personalized horoscopes based on your natal chart, um, and just talk about the astrology for the rest of April. I hope you all, oh, and give ideas for rituals. I'll give you a little bit. Work with fire. Work with fire. See how fire works. You know, light a match. Like today, we want the spark, and you want to keep that spark. You don't want to go too fast. Just get excited today, because you're going to be pulled in all the ways. But that's what the moon does to us anyway. It's kind of like we're having a full moon and a new moon. I know that's astrologers are going to hate me for saying this, but like there's so much polarization to bring everything out. Um, yeah, and it's only going to help us go forward because we have, uh, just like last summer, astrology is about to get a little bit more intense. So lots of retrogrades, all that. But you know me, I believe it's all towards preparing us to being the badasses we're supposed to be. So anyway, happy new moon. If you have any questions, please let us know. And thanks for watching my astrology post. Witches of 3, speak free.